Are you ready to start planning your day like a pro? If you're ready, in this video, I'm going to be giving you two methods using which you can start creating or start planning your next day in a very effective way. Let's get started with method number one. Even before that, I really want to personally welcome you into this channel. This is Karthik. So happy to see you here. I'm really proud of the fact that you're here because you want to learn how do you get better with your planning. Because if you really want to be productive, I think this is the first step. All right. So method number one. What's this method that can help you plan in a very effective way? So the first method, even before you start, the first method is more about knowing or having that clarity about what should I do tomorrow. So let's say you want to plan your next day. As a good starting point for you would be just thinking about what should you do tomorrow. If you have no plan at all yet, this is a great way to start. Just think about it, start journaling about things, start writing some ideas, start brainstorming with people, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of important ways or important tasks or to-dos that you can start working on immediately. All right? And this method has its own advantages. What are those things? Let's look at that. The first advantage you will see is that you only have to think about the next day. You don't have to think about 100 different days from today, right? Which means you don't have to deal with overwhelm. A lot of times people who plan their day, plan their next few days, what they deal with is overwhelm because they know that there is so much to do and there's so less time. We are hard pressed for time consistently and constantly, right? So that's something you can start working on. The third thing is you will immediately experience linear growth. So what do I mean by this? Let's say you look at your desk and you see that the desk is messy. You want to start cleaning up your desk and you want to improve it. So let's say when you asked, what should I do tomorrow? This is the answer that you got. Hey, let me clean up my desk. Let me get out of that messy look and, start having a more refreshed look. So you start working on it and you will immediately experience growth, kind of linear growth in terms of getting things done, linear growth in terms of productivity, in terms of performance, because that was the thing that you thought about and you are kind of getting that job done, right? So this is method number one. What are the disadvantages of this method? Let's look at that. Some of the disadvantages might be you might be lured by instant gratification. You might be thinking, oh, okay, since I start off things and I can get things done instantly, maybe this is how I should plan my day. Maybe I should only do things where I can immediately complete things and be done with that activity, right? So I hope you have heard about this marshmallow test, a test that kids who were still very young, they were put through, and what they saw was kids who could resist that instant gratification, who could kind of resist the temptation for long enough after studying them, after going through their life for a large span of time, for years put together. What these experimenters saw was the kids who passed the marshmallow test were significantly successful, had attained all their goals and achieved a lot of things in their lives compared to those kids who failed the marshmallow test. Maybe if you're curious to know, you can Google and check that out. All right. So that can be one of the disadvantage. And the second one can be about can go random without a destination. So today it might be to clean your desk. Tomorrow it might be to do some random thing which is kind of not congruent with who you want to become. So that can be one of the disadvantages of this method. Okay, I hope this is making sense. If it is making sense, please let me know in the chat box. And if you're someone who wants to have a method and not have madness towards you becoming productive, you becoming a high performer, I will drop a link through which you can be part of my live masterclass where I'm going to be taking you through how can you 10x your productivity, how can you create those important habits and routines, how can you deal with those deep-rooted challenges that typically keeps a lot of working husbands stuck in their lives, a lot of working professionals stuck, and go past it. Okay, please do check out that link. So when do you use this method? Let me share my perspective on this. Okay. One of the places to use this method where you only start thinking about tomorrow is probably in this context. Let's say you're given a mango seed and asked to grow it into a mango tree. So what do you think you can do with this? You don't have to think 200 years from now on, right? All you have to do is what should you do tomorrow so that this seed becomes a sapling, then becomes a bigger plant and becomes a tree, and then it starts bearing fruits. That's all you have to do. In fact, when you study all other mango trees that have grown already, you will know that there is a specific time frame for its growth and specific areas that you need to work on so that it grows into a lush green tree that towards the end, after it's fully grown, starts giving those fruits. Okay, so this method can be used where everything is already set and you don't have to kind of be creative or innovative or think beyond a specific path here. I hope this is making sense to you. So that's method number 1. But the thing that I would recommend for you would be the method number 2. All right, let's explore method number 2. This is more about starting with the end in mind. Starting with the end in mind. Okay, 5 years out. Think about all the things that you want to achieve 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years from now. You can think to any distant future into the future as much as you can. In fact, I read a lot of stories where a lot of yogis in our culture, what they did was they planned for things that would happen 500 years in the future. They used to plan from that point and then start using this kind of a method, because for them it's not just about themselves, it's about them sharing the knowledge to the next generation and the next generation, and then creating a legacy and therefore achieving those goals in the long term. I hope this is fascinating for you to listen, right? So the advantages of this kind of a method, this method in fact, would be no instant gratification. If you are someone who's lured by those shiny objects, by instant gratification, this might not be a method for you. But if you can deal with instant gratification, if you can say to yourself, hey, I don't want this instant gratification now, I'm ready to play the long-term game, that's going to be amazing for you. The second advantage would be, as I said, playing the long-term game. And third one would be have the advantage of experiencing exponential growth. A lot of times people think, success is a linear kind of a growth, linear kind of a, journey. But what you will realize is when you start off, let's say even with method 1, and when you keep at it with the long-term thinking in your mind, what you will experience is the, kind of the compound effect kicking in. And that's when that linear growth is going to turn into an exponential growth curve. But the question is, are you ready to put in that effort? We failed to launch Chandrayaan 2 during 2019, right? And the scientists worked for 4 more years to make the mission happen in 2023. Are you ready to put in that long-term plan into effect so that you can start experiencing exponential growth? If you're ready, again, I will leave a link below through which you can be part of the Productive Husbands Masterclass, through which you can learn how can you start having a plan that you can put into a long-term perspective and start experiencing or start enjoying the compound effects of that. Yeah. So what would be the disadvantage of this? Disadvantage would be kind of feeling lonely at times because you are playing the long-term game, especially if you do not have the right support system. That's why I said I'll leave a link through which you have an opportunity to create a support system for yourself. If you're keen on it, do check that out. And when would you use this method? Okay, let me share that as well. You can use this method if you are eager to build a better possibility for yourself using this. Why would I say this? Because as I said, when it comes to growing a tree or a very specific thing that you want to accomplish, method 1 can be very useful. But here we are talking about you as a possibility, you as an infinite potential, you as a change maker. And if you're ready for, any possibility that you want to happen, you want to manifest in your life, start with the end in mind. Think long term, and then start from there, go back, and then start creating, okay, what are the skill sets I need to work on? What are the mindset I need to build? How can I create a support system for myself so that I can achieve that long term vision of mine? I hope this is making sense to you. If it does, please let me know through comments. I would love to, communicate with you through the comments, or even otherwise, you can drop me a mail or be part of my masterclass to learn more about this. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope you're all set now to start thinking about which method to use so that you can start planning your next day in the best possible way. Thank you so much for watching this till the end. This is Karthik signing off. I'll catch you soon in the next one. Take care.